Yes, good morning and welcome to Plus Sport. Definitely going to be an interesting moment on the show today, as we all know that everything in Nigeria as regards to sport is leading to the NFF election, and definitely we'll be looking at matter arising as regards to the NFF election taking place in Edo, Benin City, September 30th. Talking to with me on this is well-known sport administrator who is a former Gombe FA chairman twice, and he has done so well for football in Nigeria. I'm talking about, I want to use the word Honorable Gara Gombe. Is joining me all the way from Kano. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mudashiru. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. It's good to see your face again. It's obvious that there'll be a change of guide in the aims of affairs come September 30th, and you are also a major stakeholder. Tell us what Nigerians should be expecting and the candidates that are vying for this position.
Well, I am receiving the transition with cautious optimism because of so many factors. First and foremost, I'm not too sure if election really is going to hold because of number one, the football master plan that has just been submitted to Mr. President. There are so many critical components of it that needs to be addressed fully before any credible elections can take place in Nigeria as it is today. So unless and until we wait for the position of Mr. President or the federal government on the football master plan, I am not too sure whether or not these elections in Benin is going to hold. And if it does, under the present circumstance, it's like we are nowhere. We are moving nowhere. The status quo will remain. The rot will remain. The destruction, the prejudice of Nigerian football will also remain. So I think it is really unfortunate if the elections will be allowed to go on as scheduled without addressing the concerns and the recommendations as contained in the Football Master Plan report.
Yeah, but we know that in the Congress that took place, all stakeholders agreed that it's definitely going to be September 30th. Apart from the circumstances you just mentioned, what do you think we'll be looking forward to in terms of personalities of who is going to take over from Ahmed Pinnick?
I can't hear you. I can't hear your last term.
Okay, I said, if regardless to the fact that whether the election is not going to hold, if definitely the election happens on September, what do you think we should be looking forward in the personalities? There are many people that wants to be the NFF president, but from your own concern, what are the major yardstick to determine who is definitely a better person to take the position?
Yeah, first and foremost, we need people that have the antecedents, they have the capacity, integrity, and courage, and also have a great sense of history about the rot in Nigerian football to fix it. We do not want a relay, kind of passing a relay button from one road to another. And that is why we are talking about opening up the space for people to come in. I heard you say that stakeholders agreed in Lagos to have the elections. That these are not stakeholders. These are just members of Congress, which just represent a fraction of stakeholders of Nigerian football. if you talk of stakeholders, maybe you need either a referendum or you need a large Congress, because a country of more than 250 million people, just a handful of 44 people cannot sit down and decide on us and say they are stakeholders, even though statutes governing football place such responsibility on the Congress. But they have turned the Congress into a cabal without allowing others to come in. Having said that, the next president of Nigerian Football Association has to be someone who has the courage, someone who is ready to be transparent, someone who is ready to be accountable, and someone who has the capacity to provide good governance for our football. Because the destruction in Nigerian football really is unimaginable.
Okay, well, just now, update is that do you have a preferred candidate amongst them, knowing that a lot of people actually also wanted you to vie for the position, but it seems that nothing has really come out from you, whether you are going for the presidency of NFF Football Federation. Do you have a preferred candidate that you think that can do the job properly?
As for now, the preferred candidate is myself.
Okay, sir.
Yes, but I said that with a proviso, like you said. I received almost, when somebody tried to post it on social media, I have seen the mammoth response, which really overwhelmed me to consider my position. But I will accept it on two conditions, like I said. Number one, I do not see the rules of the election yet, and I cannot go into any contest without seeing the rules. Secondly, the statutes have to be amended to open up the space to be all-inclusive. If it is not all-inclusive, it's been treated like a kind of a cabal setup, then there is nothing can change, and there is nothing interesting to rush to contest with the NFF presidency.
Okay, yes. I know that definitely not going to be enough time to talk on NFF election. I'm hoping to say more on that. But let's not go to the 10-year plan, master plan that the president received some days ago. What's your opinion on the 10-year master football plan that the president received from the Minister of Youth and Sport, Sunday Dare?
I have not read the report fully, but I happen to be privileged to be one of those committee, which I did reluctantly. I say reluctantly because we have had these kind of exercises before. We go there, we talk, at the end of the day, nothing happens. But after I received some assurances from the Minister of Sports and also from the chairman of the committee and some members that I have personal relationship with, I decided to go and make my presentation to them. And I know that they have done a fantastic job. The only thing missing there is they have not addressed the issue of the legitimacy of the NFF as against what is known to Nigerian laws to be NFA. Because as far as today is concerned, the only law governing football that is known to Nigerian Constitution, which is the instrument that is governing our sovereignty, is Nigerian Football Association, not Nigerian Football Federation. So that has not been addressed. Then again, I think we wasted so much time after the committee finished their work to first take it to another level, level, to critique the report, and before coming up with a plan. Because as it is, like I said, everything has to do with inclusiveness, open up this space. I could have suggested that this report would have gone a stakeholders town hall meeting for people to look at it and critique it and come up with it. Because by the time you sit in one corner in Abuja and come up with a source report and you say it's a policy by just less than 20, 30 people, and you adopt it, at the end of the day, what may work in Akwa Ibom may not be the same thing that will work in Sokoto, or what will work in Maiduguri may not be the same thing that will work in Badagry.
Thank you
Taking that report.
Yes, Honorable, thank you very much for your opinion, and I'm sure definitely when it's time for the election, we will bring you. We thank you very much for your time, sir. Yet, away from football matters, we go to cricket, where a very fantastic cricket reporter, one of well-known, talking about Ijeoma, waiting for us while we look at the International World Cup, Women's World Cup. Ijeoma? Hello? Ijeoma-Okigbo? I'm sure while we're waiting for Ijeoma, the fact is that the under-19 women's Nigerian women's team are preparing for a qualifiers in Botswana. Nigeria has never qualified when it comes to the under-19, has never qualified for the Women's World Cup. And preparations are ongoing right now in Edo to prepare them for the under-19 Women's World Cup that is taking place in South Africa next year. And talking on this has to be none other than well-known Ijeoma-Okigbo, who is a cricket reporter and broadcaster. Hope we are able to get Ijeoma this time around. Hello, Ijeoma. You can unmute your device so that we can engage you. Nigerians are eager to know what's going to happen in Botswana as we prepare for the under-19.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ijeoma. Thank you for waiting.
Yes, good morning, Mother Shu. It's great to be here. Good morning.
Now, are you there, Ijeoma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. What's the preparation for the cricket, the under-19 Women's Cricket World Cup qualifiers?
Okay, so the team is currently in camp now in Edo State. Although a few of the players had traveled to Zimbabwe, that was last month, to train in an academy in Zimbabwe. That was some under-19 players. At that time, it was sponsored by the Edo State Cricket Association. So a few of them have gotten that experience. And also, for you to also note that a few of the under-19 players who had featured for the senior women's team. So I would expect a blend of quite, should I say experience, just a little exposure anyway, and then some young new players as well. But the training has been, they've been training in Edo State. Some players who have also been training in other states before they finally assembled them to Edo State, and I think the training has been progressful, or it's been great so far.
This is historical because we've not come close to this when it comes to women's cricket. I remember the under-19 boys did something close by qualifying to the World Cup in South Africa. Are we expecting, there's 8 slots, and there's only 8 teams and 1 slot. Do you think we can make that possible with the support of the Cricket Federation and all stakeholders?
Well, anything is possible. Yeah, just as we said it, the 19 boys did it in 2019, qualifying for Nigeria's Festival World Cup. So we'd expect that the girls can try to make this possible too as well. Don't also forget that this is the first time the ICC is assembling this kind of tournament for the under-19 women. So we'll be seeing a lot of, this is the first time the world will be watching under-19 women, play cricket. So I would expect that they are able to. It's not easy. 8 teams and then just one slot for them to just to scale through. We have to be tough, top opponents in terms of things like Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda as well. But I expect that Nigeria can push its weight to an extent, and hopefully we'll be able to get that ticket. But it's not going to be easy. We have to really push our weight really.
Cricket, one of the oldest, if not the oldest sport in the country, is as old as Nigeria itself. But there's still so much away from the Women's World Cup. There's still so much to do as regards to the orientation. Under the present administration, and you also, you have an NGO, Aspire Women, when it comes to cricket. Great. What do you think have been done so well in the past to enable women, especially if girls, to be part of cricket?
Well, also the NCF, the Nigerian Cricket Federation, has been doing so well in terms of developmental cricket, trying to raise the game at the grassroots. We have a league currently now in various states. There's a league in Edo State, there's a league in Port Harcourt, there's a league in Lagos. So all of this, is a good exposure for the women to begin to train and for cricket to go when it comes to the women folk. So I would say it's been great so far. We are not there yet, but of course we're on a great path. And with what we are doing right now, we should be able to see more women, get to that great stage. And what we are doing at Girls Aspire as well is also trying to raise the game, raise the awareness in terms of women participation as well. So it's not a day's job, but of course we're on the right path.
Reporter that yesterday there was the under 19 Falconet issue about welfare, the stadium where they slept. And I'm sure the under 19 cricket women going for this qualifying Botswana. In terms of welfare, do you think the Federation is doing so well? Because we saw the similar embarrassment that the Nigerian Football Federation put the country into. In terms of welfare, do you think the Cricket Federation, will do so well for the under 19 cricketers that will represent us in Botswana?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nigerian Care Federation, when it comes to welfare, is always their number one priority. When it comes to welfare, so of course we don't expect that kind of embarrassment or that kind of issue. No, no, not at all. This is football. This is cricket. It's not football. So we expect that the teams will really go far. Really go far, doing well. They have all the support. If the teams, I remember watching. I was with the team in Rwanda also. That's the women's senior team in Rwanda in Kibika, and you could see the number of. A lot of people said Nigeria were the best dressed because in terms of the kits, they have numerous numbers of kits. If I'm going to use it that way, their bags were really full when it comes to jerseys and all that. So when it comes to welfare, I think the Nigerian Care Federation is doing top notch, to ensure that you are there not just mentally, physically, everything. You're sound. You're going out to play this game very well. So with the issue of welfare, everything, I think everything to my knowledge, I think everything should be taken care of.
Why did it have to take us so long, the cricketers under 19, for us? And why is it that we've not gotten to the World Cup before? We begin to wonder because cricket is as old as the country itself. But why did they have to get to this stage that we've not gotten to qualified for the World Cup before, even at the under 19 level?
Okay, we've qualified for the World Cup for the men.
Yes.
Yeah, this will be the first time the women are attempting it because this is the first time ICC is giving this window, the World International Council, governing body for cricket is providing this window for the women to qualify. So, well, sometimes I could attribute should I say, not so good development of the game to the fact that a lot of people see cricket sometimes as an elite game because the equipment are really not available. It's quite expensive to be able to get the bats and the balls and all that. But thankfully, we're able to see that the ICC has produced something that they call cryo concept. So it's an idea where a lot of people can play cricket using rubber bats or plastic bats and balls. All these things are readily available. We have them now in Nigeria and in a lot of other countries where people can access or play the game of cricket with ordinary bats and balls. You don't need to use the very expensive or very heavy weight of balls and bats. So with that kind of, they try to simplify cricket doing that. So I hope that we'll be able to, get back and ensure that the game, the game is so good as we had expected.
The list is not yet out, and I'm sure definitely Plus Sport will be the first to say so much about this. But what's the criteria of selection do you expect from the players in regards to the World Cup qualifiers that is taking place in Botswana next month?
Well, I expect to see players who have played for Nigeria before. If I'm going, how I'm going, this is because some of the under 19 teams right now, some of the under 19 players have actually featured for the senior women's team in previous tournaments. There were some of them were in Quebec, some of them have played in T20 qualifiers. That was last year in Botswana. So I expect to see players like Lucky Fighty. I expect to see players like Lillian Ude. I expect to see players like Abigail Ubebi. So those kind of players should be able to come in because they've gotten this experience. This will not be their first cap or first exposure in the national team. I expect to see those kind of players coming in, to kind of motivate and support the other younger players who will be having this tournament as their first ever international exposure.
Yes, time will not permit us to ask more questions, but definitely we'll still call upon you to tell us after the final list have been selected, and we look so much on the players and why they qualify to represent us as the World Cup qualifier in Botswana. Thank you very much for your time, Ijeoma.
Thank you, Mr. Shiri. It's a pleasure.
This is all we could take on today's program. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be giving you the latest updates in the world of sport. I remain Mudashiru Shitu. Thanks for watching.